heading to Kansas City. As you see, Courtney Cronin there covering the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes addressed the media this afternoon and was asked about the new group of wide receivers. What did he have to say, Courtney?
I know it's only OTAs, Laura, but watching the speed of this receiver unit was my biggest takeaway from Chiefs OTAs. And I remember talking with Chiefs cornerback Trent McDuffie about the differences going against this offense. Last year, he said at this time, he felt like the defense was ahead, but because these guys are, quote, rolling, as he put it, the offense and the defense are battling, and that was evident in none other than this one hand grab that Hollywood Brown, Patrick Mahomes' new best friend at wide receiver, showed off during 7-on-7.
I've seen it the entire offseason from working in Texas till here, and I remember the first day I told guys like Drew, and I was like, hey, like he's gonna try. He tracks him down the field well, and he can really go. And I think y'all saw it today. I mean, I'm giving him chances downfield. He's making the plays happen, and the more plays he makes, the more we'll continue to give him those chances. It's a good addition to our offense.
So the other addition to the Chiefs offense this offseason is wide receiver Xavier Worthy. He did not practice today. He had a hamstring tweak in practice the other day. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, not that concerned about it. Mahomes said that because guys train for the combine, sometimes they try to come out a little bit too hard to show off their stuff early on in training camp and during the OTA portion. But he's not worried about it considering the reps that he knows that Worthy will eventually get. And he was really impressed by the questions that he's been asking in the meeting room and by how he's been learning from the other receivers while he has been sidelined.
So those are the additions to the offense, Courtney, for the defending champs trying to go for the three-peat. You stick right there because we're coming right back to you with more on the Chiefs in a moment. But after pushing the ball up and down the field with Tyreek Hill, Mahomes won 2 more Super Bowls, this time changing up his approach, leaning on the short passing game following Hill's departure from Kansas City. Mahomes leads the NFL with 68 touchdown passes over the last 2 seasons, but only averaging 4.3 air yards on his touchdown passes over that span. That's easily the shortest mark in the NFL. You wonder if they can stretch it out a little bit more. Herm, how do you see Mahomes and Andy Reid using their new wideouts to their advantage this fall?
Well, more explosive, obviously, and Tyreek Hill, when he left this offense, that hurt them tremendously. When you watch the Kansas City Chiefs, you can remember Tyreek Hill going from one side of the formation, running to the other side of the formation. Because speed always challenges a defense. And now they've got Hollywood Brown and Worthy. They have speed back. So what does that do? It makes defense play what we used to play in Tampa a lot. Butker knows this, cover 2. 2 safeties at the high shell. So that opens up the middle of the field for the tight end. So this speed is a problem for defenses, especially when you have receivers that can run across the field and make plays. Kelsey's loving this, along with the other tight end. They've got 2 tight ends. I can see Andy Reid all of a sudden playing with 2 receivers, 1 back, 2 tight ends to the dead side, and making you defend the dead side of 2 tight ends. That's tough stuff, and Booger knows that.
Yeah, I think KC is not immune to what's happening in the National Football League. That is, it's too hard to drive the football down the field 10, 12, 15 plays. So they need to add another level of explosiveness to their offense back when they had Tyreek Hill. So now what do you have? You got Hollywood Brown, you got Xavier Worthy, you got some speed to this offense. That way Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to step to the podium every week and be like, hey, we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. No, this offense right now should be in their prime. They got a defense that can carry them. But I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are tired of dinking and dunking. They want to make this offense more explosive, especially throughout the season, because we know in crunch time who's going to get the ball. It's going to be Travis Kelce. So how do you preserve him? That way when it becomes playoff time and Super Bowl time, he's ready to go. You got to add some youth, Hollywood Brown, Worthy, some explosiveness. The field is going to open up now for everyone in this offense, and don't be surprised if the big plays come back to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from the Chiefs, right, because they made it to the Super Bowl kind of dinking and dunking, to Boog's point. But really, it was on the back of that defense, Boog. What do you think that unit will be next season? You expect it to be as strong as it was in their run to the Super Bowl, where they really benefited from it.
Yeah, I think the defense is going to be really good. I think anytime you sign Chris Jones back and he comes back and he's going to be the cog in that defense. Right now, he is the preeminent defensive tackle in football, especially since Aaron Donald has retired. That young secondary has grown up. So all those guys that played a couple of years ago and got their first Super Bowl as rookies, those guys, McDuffie and those guys, they are ready to go right now. I know L'Jarius Sneed is now in Tennessee, but they have proven they can develop defensive backs. And And I think this defense is going to be dynamite. Steve Spagnuolo has shown us one thing. He understands how to coordinate a defense. And so I think while this offense is going to be explosive and score some points, they may turn the football over a little bit more when you push the football down the field. But I think this has the potential to be the best Kansas City team since the first Tyreek Hill Kansas City team, because the defense and the offense are going to complement each other. They're going to score a ton of points, and the defense is not going to give up many.
Yeah, Boog, Kansas City's defense, 2023, finished top 2 in the league in scoring defense and sacks behind the Ravens. We'll see if they're as good as you think they might be. All right, perhaps the biggest question for those Chiefs wideouts, though, surrounds Rashee Rice, who faces 8 charges in Dallas stemming from a multi-car accident in March. He's attending the Chiefs' organized team activities in Kansas City. He also reportedly is a suspect in an assault earlier this month, but the man allegedly injured told Dallas police he doesn't want to pursue charges. Police say that investigation is ongoing. Rice also took part in the team's early offseason meetings that were held virtually. Patrick Mahomes was asked about his young receiver today. Take a listen.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to do whatever we can to teach him how to learn from his mistakes. I mean, obviously, that was a big mistake, but you have to learn from it, make sure it doesn't happen again, and try to do whatever you can to be the best person you can be in society, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. And I think he is doing that. But right now, we're just going to keep trying to do whatever we can to get him on the right path so that he can be a great football player, obviously, but we want him to be a great person, too.
Adam back with us. What else can you add, Adam, to the situation regarding Rice and the Chiefs?
Well, Laura, even though the photographer wants the police not to charge Rashee Rice in that incident that has allegedly occurred at that nightclub, again, the league is going to have to look at 2 separate investigations and make its own determination about whether Rashee Rice was involved in the incident on May 6th. And we know he already was arrested for the incident, the car crash on March 30th that injured people. So there's one active investigation, another investigation that the league is looking into, and however you want to slice it up, it certainly looks like there's going to be some form of discipline that's going to be coming Rashee Rice's way. Most people around the league believe a multi-game suspension will be coming for this season, but it's up to the league to continue to conduct its investigation and come to the conclusions that it feels are warranted with these 2 particular cases.
Yeah, more Chiefs news today, and of course surrounding Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker. He's faced backlash after expressing his views on women's roles in the home, Pride Month, and other topics during a commencement address earlier this month at Benedictine College, a private Catholic liberal arts school in Kansas. Now, the NFL has said his views, quote, are not those of the NFL as an organization, end quote. Earlier today, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes weighed in on Butker's comments.
I judge him by the character that he shows every single day, and that's a good person. That's someone who cares about the people around him, cares about his family, and wants to make a good impact in society. When you're in the locker room, there's a lot of people from a lot of different areas of life, and they have a lot of different views on everything, and we're not always going to agree.
Let's bring Courtney Cronin back in here. And Courtney, you were at the press conference for both Mahomes and Andy Reid. How did they approach the Butker story?
Laura, I asked Patrick Mahomes for his reaction to the speech that he has heard lots of over the last 10 days since Harrison Butker gave that commencement address. And he pointed to the fact that he's known Harrison Butker as a teammate for 7 years, and that while he doesn't agree with everything he said in this speech, different values, different ways of life that he believes differently in, he looks at this the way that Andy Reid does, that a locker room is a microcosm of society, and you are going to have people with different opinions that express them in different ways, but that inside the walls of the Chiefs facility, that's a safe space where they can have conversations about things that may be deemed controversial, that outside of the walls of that facility create a lot of distractions. And Andy Reid said that he didn't feel he needed to talk to Harrison Butker about this, considering he too holds that same belief that he is allowed to have whatever opinion he wants to have, and that as long as it's not causing a distraction on the football field, it's not causing a distraction in that locker room.
Yeah, certainly everyone is entitled to their own opinion, as they said there today. And Courtney, I would just say my opinion is it's really great that you and I get to be women with careers.